ಗುರುಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಗುರುವಿಷ್ಣು ಗುರುದೇವೋ ಮಹೇಶ್ವರ ಗುರು ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ತಸ್ಮೈ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುವೇ ನಮಃ. ಭಕ್ತರು ನನಗೆ ಹೆಂಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಇಷ್ಟವೆಂದರೆ ದೃಢವಾಗಿ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಸೇವೆ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆ ನಿಷ್ಠೆ ಇರಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದಂಗೆ ನಡೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರನ್ನು ಆಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬಾರದು, ಯಾರನ್ನೂ ನಿಂದನೆ ಮಾಡಬಾರದು. ಭಕ್ತರು ಭಗವಂತನ ಸ್ಮರಣೆ, ಸೇವೆ, ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡುವುದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ನನಗಾಗುವ ಆನಂದ ಹೇಳತೀರದು, ಪರಮಾನಂದವಾಗಿ ಬಿಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತಲೂ ಆನಂದ ನನಗೆ ಇನ್ನಾವುದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಣವನ್ನು ಹಿಡಿದು ಶಿವನನ್ನು ಸೇರು. ಪ್ರಾಣ ಎಂದರೆ ವಾಯು, ಉಸಿರು. ಆ ಉಸಿರಿನೊಂದಿಗೆ ಜಪವನ್ನು ಮಾಡು. ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಪ್ರತಿ ಉಸಿರೂ ಭಗವಂತನಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಪಣೆಯಾದಾಗ ಭಗವದ್ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಿಯಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಆಗ ನೀನೇ ಶಿವ ಆಗುತ್ತೀಯ. ಭಜನೆ, ನಾಮಸ್ಮರಣೆಯನ್ನು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹೇಳುವುದಲ್ಲ, ಸತ್ಯವಾಗಿಯೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆಯು ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಪಿತವಾಗಬೇಕು. ನಿಜವಾದ ಹಂಬಲದಿಂದ ಮೊರೆಯಿಡಬೇಕು. ಆಗ ಆ ಕೂಗು ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ತಟ್ಟುತ್ತದೆ. ಭಗವಂತ ಸತ್ಯವಾಗಿಯೂ ಆ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆಯನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತಾನೆ. ನಾನು ಏಕರೂಪಿ, ಸರ್ವವ್ಯಾಪಕ. ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಪೂಜಿಸಿದರೂ ಭಜಿಸಿದರೂ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಭಕ್ತಿ ನನಗೆ ಮುಟ್ಟುತ್ತದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಭಜನೆ, ಸತ್ಸಂಗ ನಡೆದರೂ ನಾನಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮವಾಗಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಕಂಡು ಅದನ್ನೇ ನೋಡಿ ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮತೆಯನ್ನು ನೀವು ಬೆಳೆಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನಾನು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಏಕನೇ, ನಾನು ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕ ಅಂದುಕೊಂಡು ನೀನು ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕವಾಗಿದ್ದೀರ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನಾನು ಬೇರೆ, ಭಗವಂತ ಬೇರೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಂದು ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಂಡು ಅಜ್ಞಾನದ ವಶದಿಂದ ನೀವು ಬೇರೆಯಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅನೇಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಏಕವೂ ಸೇರಿ ಏಕವೇ ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಯಾರು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಕೂಡಲು ಅತಿಶಯವಾಗಿ ಹಂಬಲಿಸುತ್ತಾರೋ, ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡುತ್ತಿರುತ್ತಾರೋ ಅವರೊಡನೆ ಸೇರಿ ನಾನೇ ಏಕವಾಗುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಧ್ಯಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಗ್ನರಾಗಿರಿ, ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗುವುದು. ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದುದ್ದಕ್ಕೂ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ಸುಖವನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯಲು ಏನೇನೋ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಹೋಗಬಾರದ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಮಾಡಬಾರದ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಗಳೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಹಿಡಿಯಬಾರದವರ ಕಾಲು ಹಿಡಿಯುತ್ತಾನೆ. ನಿದ್ದೆಗೆಡುತ್ತಾನೆ, ಊಟ ಬಿಡುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಇದ್ಯಾವುದೂ ದೇಹ ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಮೇಲೆಯೂ ಉಪಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಭಗವದ್ ಕಾರ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗಿಯಾದದ್ದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಅಪಾರವಾದ ಪುಣ್ಯ ದೊರಕಿಸಿಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇವನ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ದೇಹ ಅಂತ್ಯವಾದಾಗ ಅದೆಲ್ಲವೂ ವ್ಯರ್ಥವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಆದುದರಿಂದ ಭಗವಂತನನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯಲು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡಿ. ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಅಭಯವೂ ನಿಮ್ಮದಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಪ್ರಪಂಚವೇ ಸತ್ಯ ಎಂದುಕೊಂಡು ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಉರುಳಾಡಿ ಭಕ್ತರಾದರೂ ತಮ್ಮ ಪಾಡಿಗೆ ತಾವಿರಬೇಕು. ಪಾರಮಾರ್ಥಿಕವಾಗಿ ಬದುಕಬೇಕು. ಪಾರಮಾರ್ಥಿಕವಾಗಿ ಬದುಕುವುದನ್ನು ಕಲಿಯಬೇಕು. ಅದೇ ಸತ್ಯವಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲೂ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನನ್ನು ಕಾಣತೊಡಗಬೇಕು. ಯಾವುದೂ ಸ್ಥಿರವಾಗಿಯೂ ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಇರಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಮ ಭಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಉಳಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು. ಗುರುವಿನ ವಾಕ್ಯವನ್ನು ಪಾಲಿಸುವುದು ಕೆಲವೊಮ್ಮೆ ಕಠಿಣವಾಗಿ ತೋರುವುದು. ಆದರೆ ಗುರುವಾಕ್ಯ ನಡೆಸುವುದೇ ಏಕಮೇವ ಗುರಿ ಎಂದು ಛಲದಿಂದ ಸಾಧಿಸಿದವರು ಯಶಸ್ವಿಯಾಗುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ದೈವೀ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದವು ದೊರೆಯುವುದು. ಗುರುವಿನ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥವಾಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತದೆಯೋ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಗುರುವಿನ ಪ್ರೀತಿ, ಅವನ ಅನುಗ್ರಹ, ಅವನ ಸ್ವರೂಪ, ಅವನ ಕುರುಹು, ಮಹಿಮೆ ಅರಿವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಅಂದುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರೋ ಅದು ಬೇರೆಯ ವಿಚಾರ. ಆದರೆ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಜೀವಿಗಳು ಸದಾಕಾಲ ಭಗವಂತನ ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಎಲ್ಲದರ ಹೊಣೆಯನ್ನು ಭಗವಂತನ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. ಜೀವಭಾವ ಹೋಗಿ ಪರಮಭಾವದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಾಗಬೇಕು. ಈ ಜಗತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೂ ಶಾಶ್ವತವಾಗಿರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಸಂಪಾದಿಸಿದ್ದರೂ ರಾಜ ಪ್ರಧಾನಿನೂ ಶಾಶ್ವತವಾಗಿರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಾವು ಅನ್ನುವುದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿಯೂ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಎಚ್ಚರ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು. ಹುಟ್ಟಿಗೂ ಹೆದರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಸಾವಿಗೂ ಹೆದರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಭಗವಂತನಿಗಾಗಿ ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡಿರಿ, ಆಗ ಅವನು ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತಾನೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೈಲಾದ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿ. ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಸುಳಿವು ಕುರುಹು ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ನಿನ್ನನ್ನು ನೀನು ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಂಡು ಮುಕ್ತನಾಗು. ಸಂಸಾರ ಬಂಧನದಿಂದ ಪಾರಾಗು. ದತ್ತನಂತಹ ಗುರುವಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಬೇಗನೆ ಶಿರಬಾಗು. ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಆಕಾಶ ಮಾರ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾರಾಡುತ್ತಾನೆ, ಜಲಮಾರ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಯಣಿಸುತ್ತಾನೆ, ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಜ್ಞಾನ ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಏನೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಆದರೆ ನಾನು ಯಾರು ಎಂದು ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನವೂ ಮಾಡುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುವುದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಕ್ಷಣಿಕವಾದ ದೇಹವನ್ನು ನಾನು ಅನ್ನುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತರಾತ್ಮನೇ ನಾನು ಎಂದು ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದೇ ಜ್ಞಾನ, ಅದೇ ಅರಿವು. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿಯೇ ಹಂಬಲಿಸಿರಿ, ಸದಾ ಸಾಧನೆಯಲ್ಲಿರಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದದ್ದು ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಯಾವುದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Wonder of Wonders, the English rendering of Paramahamsa Sadguru SriSatupasi's Kannada classic Mahadascharya. Audio Chapter 1. Om Shri Guru Dattaya Namaha. Kanneshwara Darshana in pitch darkness. Mangalarati 1. To you, Parashiva, I wave this Mangalarati, the lighted lamp of auspiciousness. A serpent in water you were to test thy devotee, and drove and grazed his cattle, sending him to go and eat. The god indeed you are, who sought flowers, appearing as infants in his dream, and got worshipped during day with marigold flowers. The Kanneshwara temple may be around 2 furlongs, about half a kilometer or less from our lands. But most of my time I will be engaged in one or the other farming activity, like regulating water flow, weeding, and keeping a watch over the pre-harvest crops and grazing bullocks. This is my daily schedule of work. Along with all these activities, relentless Shivanama Smarane, chanting and recalling Shiva's name, goes on. I had heard from people's mouth that there is a Kanneshwara temple nearby, and the name of that god is Kanneshwara. None goes to it alone. They fear to do so because there are snakes, devils, and phantoms. This was what people said, and my mother also was saying the same. Look, when you go grazing cattle, don't go near the temple. Be away from it, my mother used to say. I was grazing cattle around it without going anywhere near it. At that time, I was prone to fall asleep wherever I was. In fact, I was grazing cattle with my eyes shut. I was calling cattle aloud, lest they go astray. Unable to open my eyes. I wouldn't open my eyes. I couldn't. How long can I be so? Unable to overcome that boundless sleep. Maybe very soon I would lose my wakefulness. I would say, Kanneshwara, you take care of the bullocks, and fall into a spell of sleep. All around were full grown crops. All the cows and bullocks used to be there alone when I woke up and saw. This way, I was grazing cows and bullocks behind, beside, around the temple, without ever going close to it. I would say the same thing and go to sleep. I was always doing so. If I felt famished when I woke up, I would say, Kanesha, I feel hungry. I'll go near the Kapile. Kapile is a lift irrigation well. Eat my meal and come back. Take care of bullocks, sir. I would go eat and return leisurely, chewing betel nut and leaves. I had no feeling of urgency. I was doing so every day. Bullocks didn't stray anywhere. My trust became steadfast. Kanneshwara takes care, certain it is. Shivanama Smarane, chanting and remembering was going ceaseless. If I yoked bullocks and began plowing, holding them metically, I didn't stop saying Shiva Shiva till the end of tilling. Even when I yelled at bullocks, I did it in the name of Shiva. This was going on, but to the temple I wasn't going. I was praying Kanneshwara from a distance alone. Even then, I was thinking in my mind, how does it look like? Is it an idol of Shiva or Linga? I let it be as it is, and I continued to be as I was. Moreover, I was afraid of my father that someone might inform him. I feared there was nothing for me to gain by going there. I was receiving this love from a distance. One day, 100 meters away from the temple, I saw a circular well. I went near to see whether or not there was any water. I saw some water at the bottom. I looked down again. 2 big serpents are lying. How long they have been there lying, I don't know. There is no possibility for them to come up as the well is circular and gare plastered. Gare is a grinded mix of sand, lime and water. Therefore, they are lying on their back floating, exhausted after several failed attempts to climb up. Seeing this, I dropped a stone to test, to find out whether they are dead or alive. They wriggled slowly. Yes, they are alive. Must do something to drive them ashore, I thought. What to do? I looked around. A rope called Mini, which is used to lift water from the well Kapile. I found one such Mini there. I let it down into the well. The rope was 5 or 6 inches thick. It fell short in length to touch water. Somehow, 2 yards down, I burrowed a chadi, an opening where I can place my foot. With one of my foot in the chadi, pressing on the rope and holding on to the shore of the well by the other foot and hand, I let loose the rope. The serpents slowly began to wind themselves to the rope. They climbed up but fell down. They tried quite a number of times. I paused, hoping they would come now or little later. It was 9 in the night. The bullocks have all gone away. The rope slips down if I take out my foot. Besides, I am hearing the sound of snakes climbing up and falling into the water. If they climb up, they have to move on my feet. Then I would know they have come up. I am fear-struck. Even then, I mustn't relent. Calling Shiva Shiva, I stood firmly, stepping on the rope. All of a sudden, my legs felt cold. Felt something run over my foot. Oh, one has reached ashore, and the other one too may come up. So, holding on to my life, I had bent down. At that very moment, Agasra Ellajja, who had come to let water to his fields, standing on the ridge of his land, looked at me and said, "Who is there? What are you doing near the well?" he asked. "Nothing, Ajja. Grandpa, there were serpents here. I am letting them out into the fields," I said. "What did you say? Is your head deranged or what? You stupid son of..." He started abusing and said, struck on my head and lifted me up, holding on to my underarms. "Are you a human being or what? At this hour, does anyone let serpents into farmlands? Should never come here. If I were to give you a severe blow," he warned. I was struck with fear. I looked around for the cattle. They weren't there. "Oh my God," I said to myself and ran home. Fortunately, my Appanavaru, respected father, wasn't there. My mother asked, "Where had you gone this long?" "The cattle came home long back," she said. I related everything to my mother leisurely. "My goodness, why did you do so? They are God serpents. You have left one behind. What happened to it? The one that tried climbing up on the rope?" Shockingly, she asked. I answered, "Amma, the two were in the well together." Somehow I managed to rescue one. I did whatever I can do to let the other one to the fields. This Elijah came and drew me away, hitting me. When he pulled me out, the rope I had held, stepping on it, got snapped, and the serpent that had half climbed fell into the well, I said. Look, nothing would have happened if the two serpents that were together had been left for themselves. You left one behind. They are angry with you for what you have done. If you go that side, they wouldn't let you free. Don't go that side. Whatever you do, it will be like this. She meant causing some problem or the other. Amma, be that as it may, I will not step out that side at all. Amma, I beg you and fall at your feet. Please don't tell this to Appaya. That's all right. Go eat and sleep, she said. For several days, I didn't step out in that direction. One day, I planted a canigle branch on the bank of a channel that ran before the well in front of the door. That day, I slept in the current room. Around 1 in the midnight, I dreamt a dream. There were two who looked like Bala Yogis. Bala Yogis are early youth yogis. Such ones I had never seen before. They were ochre kache, a way of tuckling the dhoti. Their plaited hair was curled around their head. A rudrakshi lace was wound round it. Vibhuti lines on their forehead. A jolige, a haversack. Their hands held cane sticks. They looked alike. I asked, "Who are you? Where are you from?" "We are from Kailasa, and to you alone we have come," they said. "Why? What for?" I asked. "Some flowers we want. Please pluck them for us," they said. "Where are flowers?" I asked. The buds in the branches of fragrant oleander canigle, which was just planted in the morning, had blossomed. They pointed to those flowers. I said, "They were planted just today." "Don't bother, blossomed they are. Come, pluck them and give," they insisted. "Fine," I said to myself and went to pluck flowers. "For what these flowers?" I asked. The two Bala Yogis standing behind me pointed their fingers towards Kanneshwara temple and said, "Look, that Ajja who is coming, it is for him, that Ajja." When I look around, I found an old man with a long beard and appears ripe old. I saw him coming towards us alone. I plucked flowers looking at that Tata. Palm-full flowers it was. I turned round saying to the two Bala Yogis, "Please take." The two Bala Yogis, said to be from Kailasa, aren't there. "Oh, where did they go?" I asked myself, surprised. "Didn't they say this flower is for Tata?" Thinking so, I look in the direction of that Tata's coming. That venerable old man is going towards the temple. Awestruck, baffled, I opened my eyes. I'm standing in the current room facing the temple. My cupped palms are as they were, no flowers. I sat down thinking whether it is dream or I am awake. What I have seen in the dream is glued to my eyes. The words they said are ringing in my ears. Paramatma, for so many days I would go to sleep asking you to keep a watch over the bullocks, without worshipping you, without flowers, without fruits and coconut. I would go to eat, asking you to graze the cattle. To you, who has done this much for me, I haven't offered even a few flowers. It's all right, sir. You haven't asked anything else. Only flowers you have asked. I shouldn't delay any further. I said myself, and I plucked the flowers in the canigle branch. And also, to the west of the well, we had recently raised vegetable plants. Around them were marigolds, each one with a basket full of flowers. Then It was Deepavali season. We had left them for Deepavali alone. I uprooted the plants in one go, thinking plucking flowers in darkness would take time, and gathered them all into a pile before the room, bundling all the plucked flowers into one old rug and carrying it with great effort and strain. Unmindful of kalle, thorny bushes or the road, I ran to the temple saying, Shiva Shiva. Near the temple it is pitch dark. I had never stepped in to know whether it was a Shiva idol or a statue of Linga. Slowly, carrying the bulky and heavy sack of flowers, I went in, moved my hands here and there. A big Linga it was, I understood. Shiva, flowers I have brought for you, Master. You asked for a palmful. See, I have brought you a big sack full, carrying it all the way. You have kept watch over the cattle whenever I asked you. Saying so, I gently place it on the pita. Then I pour the contents on Mahadeva, Guru Sri Kanneshwara. The platform on which the idol stands is the pita. Look, sir, you took care of the cattle, and now I have brought you flowers. Now the exchange is settled. It's between you and me. You watched bullocks and I offered flowers. Henceforth, you don't have to watch bullocks and I don't have to bring flowers. From now on, there is no trade between you and me. I have brought these flowers and there will be no flowers for others for Deepavali. I have to take beatings from my appa. Saying this, I prostrated to him and ran home. The room was a little far. I asked myself standing, what is this? Have I really gone with flowers? Is this true or false? Is it true that I, who was afraid of going there to temple during daytime for 2 long years, has gone in this darkness? Well, if I go near the room, it will be known. Plucking of flowers will be known. I went near the well. When I saw the heap of uprooted plants, I felt that plucking flowers was true. I felt joy. I began jumping and dancing. There was no limit to my happiness. Can you see when and how I had Kanneshwara Darshana? Did I make it or did he grant it? Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat.